Good evening, all. This is Terry Armstrong back again for part two of Transfer to California State Universities. This is specifically designed for academic advisors at Truckee Meadows Community College and includes our Recruitment and Access Center staff as well could benefit from this type of training. So, review of the part one. I kind of reviewed a quick type of an advertisement that we would want to develop eventually, promoting California State University as a transfer pathway from TMCC. I pointed out the different CSUs throughout the state. This was our agenda: CSU transfer admissions requirements, important notes, ideal CSU transfer plan, review of one of the preset plans, review of building a new plan, and a new template that could be saved and then used by other advisors down the road. We reviewed the CSU transfer admissions requirements and the concept of Golden 4 or Golden 5. Again, refer back to part one of the part one video to get more detail on this information. Also reviewed the California General Education Transfer Curriculum, CalGETC, that the academic advisors have a copy of, and in this video I will be bringing that copy up as we are building another new template from scratch using the various resources, such as assist.org, and we'll go through that. Important notes we reviewed, and we talked about the ideal CSU transfer plan, and we looked at a specific plan that I developed for a TMCC student who wants to transfer to CSU Chico, and then a blank template of the San Francisco State Hospitality and Tourism template of what students could do at TMCC to prepare to transfer to San Francisco State in this area. Okay, for this video, what we're going to do, I have the steps of opening a shared folder, and you will see this in the video, and now I'm going to just kind of move over to the folder and actually do this. So let's bring the folder over. And what you'll do is you'll go to your drive, and the academic advisors at TMCC have access to this Transfer Partnerships drive right now, and open it up. And then there are a number of different categories here that are important to know: links and resources. This is where that transfer planning sheet is available that identify TMCC courses that in all likelihood will fulfill CalGETC requirements. We also have a list of UC and CSU key pieces of information with links. The welcome to assist. UC information we're going to get to in another video. Also Cal Poly specific transfer selection criteria and Long Beach selection criteria. Okay, so we'll go back to the resources, and then transfer planning. This is what we're working from today, partly, and we will look at a blank CSU CalGETC template to start with. So we're going to open that up. We're going to reduce it to half. Hopefully you can still see this on your phones if you're looking at your phones for this. Hopefully not. And then we will pull up two important documents. And of course the first document is the CSU CalGETC template. And the second document would be the TMCC courses that can meet the requirements for TMCC as well as CalGETC. So you'll see here that the template follows along with the various subject areas below. Area 1, Area 2, 1B, 1C, dunk, 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 Area 2, and then down to Area 3 all the way through language. Language shouldn't even be on the page anymore, so I need to actually get rid of that, since that is really not a requirement here for CSU. And then what you will see is some courses that have been entered in here as just ideas at this point. And a lot will depend on a particular major, if there are certain classes that would double count in general ed to meet major requirements. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But generally, any of these courses would do to fill the arts area. Obviously, for us, if we can find a course that double counts to meet diversity, then we'll do that for us. But we don't really need to, just because we have a recommended diversity class for CSU. But you have some flexibility in working with the student, and the student has some flexibility of choosing the courses they want. And then if you look in the humanities area, the student looks in the humanities area and goes like, yeah, I want to do the world history. And what I have to do is plug in world history 208, and that's it. That's what you would do. Now, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through and we're going to make a copy of a template for our new partner, CSU Sacramento. And we are going to select business as the major. And so we will now create a new template. Okay, and to do that, as you'll recall, we are going to be using assist.org to help us with that. And a couple of things with Assist that are really valuable tools that I'll show you here later, but it's this LMC Transfer Bound, Transfer Major Explorer, which identifies all the different majors at all the different California State Universities. So that is a really slick piece of information to where you can easily find if a certain college, like who has a major in criminal justice, for example. Okay, Sacramento, and so in this case, you would plug in really any community college. I've just chosen DVC because I'm work there and I'm familiar with the curriculum. But you could choose like American River out of Sac. Anything close to Sacramento in this case would be a good option. And then you go down and find Sacramento. Then you click on View Agreements. Again, Assist is the articulation agreements between 116 community colleges, all of the CSUs, all of the UCs. So it's obviously a massive amount of work went into developing this, and it would be just incredible if we could have the same thing for Vegas and all the other community colleges, etc. But anyway, that's another topic for another time. So business administration, let's just go general management. And didn't really want to do that. Let's try that again. Okay, it's actually right down below me. I didn't even see it. Okay, here we go. So sometimes it's kind of hidden. You have to scroll down. Okay, so you'll see here that financial accounting is one of the major courses. So right here under the courses, we are going to put our equivalent course. Then it has managerial accounting, ACC 202. Then it has econ, I think macro here is 103, I think. And remember how I said we could double count in certain areas? Well, I'm double counting Econ 102, which is microeconomics in the social and behavioral sciences area for this particular major. Then you'll see I have Math 124 up here as a prerequisite to the applied calculus. Very similar, college algebra is a prerequisite to applied calculus in California as well. And then we can put in Math 176. I wouldn't do business at this point. I think that could be a problem. Business 330, but we might find out, because Sac State's going through our curriculum, and maybe at some point they might actually accept business 176 just because of the title and the course description. So I'm optimistic that we might down the road be able to use the business 176 for our California students. Then we have, I believe that's the number for our business law. And then the computer class, IS 101, stat. What we're going to do is the straight stat course, not mess around with trying to get a psych stat in there or anything like that. That could be a potential problem. Okay, so there it is. It's pretty much as easy as that. I'm going to plug in the unit values there. And I'm going to pull out the foreign language right now. Now, Sac State does have a foreign language graduation requirement if students don't have 3 years of high school language. Then they need to do 2 years of foreign language in college. Now, that could be here, and it could be there. It's not a transfer requirement; it's a graduation requirement. So we keep that in mind down the road. Which is probably why I still had the foreign language requirement in here. So probably going to keep that in there in the main template for Sac State. Okay, then I have the Philosophy 102, which I talked to you about in the first video, but the California has a critical thinking major, and not a major, but a requirement, as their second English course. So we're going to see if some universities will accept 102, and I believe Sac State will, but right now, for the purposes, a lot of them have said that they don't, and so we're going to have to do English 101 and 102 and Philosophy 102, which I had down here at the bottom. So keep that in mind. That I'm encouraging us to include that course for any California State transfer student. Okay. Because if they apply to Sac State, they might also apply to San Francisco State that does want the critical thinking. So we want to make sure that students are good for every different particular scenario. And remember, the golden 4, or in our case, the golden 5 for CSU, are absolute drop-dead requirements. So if some school doesn't like English 102, and we don't have them take Philosophy 102, they may not get in. They'll probably be rejected. Okay. That is essentially an example of how you can use assist, and how you can use the CSU requirements, the CalGASI requirements using the TMCC courses to create a unique ed plan for an individual student. Just be sure to always make a copy of the template before building a new specific ed plan for a student, and obviously inserting the student's name at the top. Okay, I think I've run out of time again. So anyway, again, if you ever have questions, come talk to me, and happy to help again. The next video and the next training will be on the UC system, and that should be lots of fun. Hope you can make it in person, but if you can't, I'm going to be building a video or two on it. All right, you guys, we'll see you next week, and have a great rest of the weekend, and sayonara.